All righty. Welcome, everyone. Let me get this out of the way and put my list of topics up. I hope everyone had a wonderful week. We have 15 people right now, and I want to ask you guys next Sunday is Mother's Day, and so I have too many things planned. And I thought about moving back the live stream instead of canceling it and moving it to Saturday. And you guys tell me if 12 o'clock would be a good time. I could do it either earlier or later in the day. I don't want to keep my UK and European viewers up too late. Although it would be a Saturday. So you guys let me know in the comments whether you would rather have me do it say 11 o'clock my time, in other words, an hour earlier than today, or the same time, or 1 o'clock, or whatever. Whatever you guys wish, I am open for. I just cannot be here Sunday. We have too many things going on. Um, so, anyway, I will love to have some great news about Nathan, but he had a bicycle accident and got a mild concussion. But the doctor, that was like 3 days ago. The doctor said he's good to go, and he's going on his birthday hike celebration with his buddies. So I hope that works out well. It's about 4 miles walk they have to do. And then tonight, my nephew and my niece coming from Connecticut down. They're already here, but they're going to come by my daughter's house. They're going to spend the night there, a couple nights with them, and that'll keep us busy for the next day or so. And it should be fun. And then next week, of course, the same thing. We're going to do it earlier on Saturday. And then I think I think it's the last day of the month. Let me see what that is. I am going to be doing a job, and so I will not be available. Yeah, the 31st Sunday. So again, either cancel or do it on a Saturday. I am open to doing so. I hate to cancel live streams because I know some of you you know um, actually enjoy hanging out with me. I hope so. I hope that's the case. Now, let me just quickly go over something here. Um, I am currently working. My wife and I. We had a friend of ours who, as you know, I do miniatures. So does my wife, and we belong to a club. And this lady also, for ages, has been doing this as well. But she got put on a rest home, and so her home and all her possessions. She lost her husband years ago as well. We're on a put on a what are the estate sale this past weekend, and we went there, purchased some things, and you know how these things work out. The company that does the sets up the sale gets a cut, a rather large cut actually. Um, and so then we went the next day because things did not sell very well, and so they cut it down to 50%. And then the following day, the daughter called us and says, "Would you like to come over? Everything is free." Oh gosh. So we went over there. Basically, what she wanted to do was get rid of just about everything her mom had, which at this point she just doesn't even know she has that. Okay. Um, Her husband was into lapidary and stone polishing and amazing, really, really neat stuff. And one thing that we got along many miniatures and rooms and the upstairs, it's all cluttered right now. We're going to give some of that stuff away to our club members. And then for my show in October, this man, this is Marge, that's our friend, husband, um, created this is out of this world. I was blown away. Miniature slate roofing tiles that are scale thinness and the same dimensions. And he cut, I don't know how he did that, but I have like 7 buckets of, you know, ceiling tiles. I mean, not ceiling tiles, roof tiles, slate tiles. And these, I looked them up. You can buy them, um, 200 for like $49. Well, I have thousands of them now. And what I would like to do is to bag them up, sell them at my show if people would buy them. I think they will, because this is very rare, at a much lower price per tile, obviously, and then give her the money. Give her the money because she would have rather have that stuff being sold during the actual 2 days where they were charging. Yeah, crazy. So we're really busy. Trust me. We've been working on setting up some of the rooms. Some of the rooms that she had were a little bit dilapidated because they've been ignored for years. But we took care of that as well as we could. Um, but anyway, it's been real busy. I haven't had time to do anything down here except last night. Let me see if he snuck in yet. No, he's not here. Um, Mike Cheney did it again. And I'm sure you guys are aware of that because the notification that you receive when you've already purchased it um, put you in, ready to load PP dot 170, folks. And he told me personally that when he jumps up by 10, so from 150 to 160 to 170, that means that an output quality improvement has been added. If it was just one single digit, that would be maybe he changed something in the user interface, something like that, but nothing to the output quality. So he has gone back and just squeezed out the last, I don't know, ounce of quality out of all of the printers that he is currently supporting with that software. Also, as of the end of March, and I told you guys, the price is going up. It's, I think, $44.99, call it $45. And people are still telling him he's out of his mind for charging so little for such an amazing piece of software. And I agree with that thought. And I hope that you guys agree with that as well. But buy it now, please. If you want to really make your own profiles and you have a printer with a scanner that is supported, and there's a list of all the supported scanners on the website for DDI software. It will tell you if you are good to go, buy the software. If you already own QImage as well, QImage Ultimate or QImage One, you need this software, folks, because you don't have to buy hundreds of dollars worth of spectrophotometer. You don't have to do that anymore. Before you had to rely on someone else making them for you, whether you were paying 25 to $30 per profile. Yes, I used to charge that until I got educated and told that I could not use the proprietary software. I had to do everything on an open source software, and it's too difficult for me, this old brain, to learn how to do that. So I just stopped making profiles for people. I was actually charging folks, and I had a for three profiles. I think I only charged like $45, which is a lot less than normally you would get charged by some of these folks out on the internet doing this type of service. So, please buy that now. I am not getting any kind of money for this. Okay. So be aware of that I'm not pushing this simply to bring in some bucks. No, I'm not bringing anything from the sale of Print Prism. So take care of that now before it goes up again, because it just might. He's realizing that he just charged a little bit too low a charge from the work that he has put into this. And he told me last night that he thinks he has shingles and it's really hurting. But he got this done, and he let me know last night, like 9 o'clock, and I came down and installed it. I saw nothing different about it. It's all about output quality. Well, now I have to redo everything. You see what I'm saying? So every time there's an output quality update, you have to redo. But hopefully, you're not like me with dozens and dozens of different papers and printers. Um, well, I don't have dozen printers anymore, but thank God. But you know what I mean. If you only have one printer and four or five different papers, you don't have to reprint the scan. I mean the target. You just have to rescan it. That's all. All right, let's bring in the folks that are here with us today. Ron K, Trenton, New Jersey, Epson Ecotech 8550, QMH Ultimate Lifetime, Canon R5 Mark II, and a Canon 7D Mark I. By the way, Nathan will be going back to the doctor tomorrow to get rechecked. So he's going to be missing school. Now, I'll be able to go over there and hang out with my nephew, my niece. My wife will come with me. We'll possibly go do a tour around the area. He was here like when my wife had her cardiac surgery, like in 2000, early 2003 or something like that. And so I know he probably will want to take a ride around and look at the sites. So we'll get that done that day. Nigel Waters, Wells, UK, Canon Pro 300 with all the trimmings. Welcome, my friend. Edwin N, is that another N? And 1423 from gloomy California Central Coast, Pro 300 and Precision Colors inks. I saw the darnest thing last night. I was looking at a video that I uploaded recently, and I'm getting suggested products. That's cool. I hope people are clicking. And not only that, but just regular ads as well. Getting about $1.25, $1.50 a day. So not making $1 million, but better than before. And they had a pro. Listen to this: a Canon Pixma Pro 100 professional. That's what it said. $1,399, and I thought, are you freaking kidding me? So I looked it up. And sure enough, they're selling what they're calling a professional Pro 100 camera. I mean printer for that kind of money. And I thought, what kind of speculation is this? Because they're not available anymore. So maybe that's the reason. And it was from some camera company, one of these companies from like New York or whatever. I didn't click on it because I was doing it on my TV. But yeah, what was that about? I looked it up, but there's no such thing as a Pro 100 professional. Is there? You guys heard anything I haven't become aware of? Let me know. MPM Photo, Nick Marmolejo. Hello from Deer Valley, Arizona. Epson Stylus 3800 with the black system. Pisography inks. Epson XP 15000 chipless PC SE inks. QMH Ultimate Lifetime 011. Photo Raw Max. Sony Alpha 6000. Okay, Photo Nikon 780. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Canon Pro 1000, 8550, 15,000. OEM inks. He's loaded. You can read the rest. And yes, he's got it already. See that? See, if I hadn't said anything, you guys would have caught this and wonder, what the heck? Jose, you didn't tell me this? Yeah, 170 is out. So if he adds like a change in the user interface, it'll become like 171, something like that. So if you guys have any suggestions about what you wish would be changed, I have a couple of things that I want to discuss with him. But, at this point, it's fine. He gives you the option for a fully automated process. You don't even have to stay in the same room. You just walk away and have it done for you. Or do it manual. And those of you who would love to do things manual, you still have that option to do so. But, you have to read, and I'm horrible about that. My wife tells me that daily. Well, you don't read. Well, that's why I guess at things and get them wrong, and I should have read the instructions. Happens to me with QMH Ultimate all the time, where I don't follow the process. And then I go, oh, that's not the printer I wanted to use. And when I click on the new printer, everything changes. Of course it does. It's remembering what you did with that particular printer, a week ago. And now you're trying to use some other printer. It remembers what you did on that printer a month ago. And so it loads that. And now you have to go back and redo all your settings. Yeah. All right. So HZ from the Netherlands, 44 Celsius. Now, 20 was, I think, 20 Celsius for chemical developing was 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a little bit higher than 68. Gray skies and fading thunderstorms, good. 8550 pin prism papers from Epson, blah, 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 blah. Vintage price for primes from Texas, from Pentax, 4x5 cameras, Sinar, Schneider, and Toyo. Well, by the way, I just finally, for ages, I hadn't done it. So we had this funeral for my friend, the retired Marine wife. And I never realized how famous this woman was with her sorority. The service started at 9, visiting the body and the casket. The casket was custom made with the colors of the sorority, blue and yellow and gold, actually. Amazing. Just over the top. I don't know what this friend of mine spent on this, but it was amazing. We were there for 6 hours, and I took lots of pictures with my D3300 and my Nikon D3300. My grandson has my D90 with the better lens, with the 18 to 85, I think. So I only had like an 18 to 55 millimeter zoom. So I had to live with what I had. But I took a lot of pictures, and I'm going to make something for my friend this coming week. But anyway, Harold Davies from La Crosse, Wisconsin is getting close. My friend, getting closer every day. Can't wait for you guys to come. La Crosse, Wisconsin, Pro 1100, Ecotech 8550, PCSE, QMH, and Print Prism. I hope it's the new one too. Harold says Saturday works, everything, anytime is fine. Excellent. Now, I don't know what's going to happen the weekend you guys are here. Should I do a live with all 4 of us together from your hotel? We could do that. I wonder if my phone can take it. It overheats when I try to do even a short live stream. TPD, see, I am like this. 6:05, 12 p.m. on Saturday works fine for me. Also, thank you for reminding me it's Mother's Day next weekend. I am so lucky that I remember that. Oh boy. Although I've been showering her with presents all this past week. Honey, what do you think of this? I show her Amazon. Would you like this top? Would you like this sweater? Would you? And yeah. Anyway, and it comes the very next day or in 2 or 3 days. So it's great. It's better than going out shopping. Okay, HC says Saturday noon is fine. At 6 my time. Good. Okay, so you want to take a break, that would be workout be fine. That weekend would be fine too. No, I don't think I have anything on Saturday. Whatever we're doing is being handled by other people. We just have to be places. Kevin Berniarski, Ellsworth, Wisconsin, right? Yes. Judy Ann is here. Wow, where have you been, my dear? We missed you the last couple of weeks. Good afternoon, morning, and very warm Washington State. Canon Pro 200 Fujifilm and Nikon cameras. Richard Bender is here, Hagerstown, Maryland. He's got PP version 170 and QImage Ultimate 8550, the 300, DJI drone. And I got to get my battery charged. I'm going to do a little flying when Ricky, my nephew, is here. Show him how much fun that is. Maybe I'll get him hooked on it. Got your latest, and we're going to go ahead and print that. I made a chart, printed a new chart um, on the Strathmore paper, and I'm going to scan that, make a new profile, updated profile, and then we'll print that painting you just sent me on it. All right, I think that's it for now. So, believe it or not, is 170 is here, and let me get my phone out of my pocket because I just want to read what Mike told me last night. Oh, here, you want to see my goofy younger grandson? Let me see if I can. Yeah, he's drinking out of a straw, but he's sticking it up his nose. Yeah, typical. That he was so goofy before. He's getting so serious now. It's just uh, like overnight he became very serious and very, self-contained and all of that. Is he's not the same kid anymore now. He's kind of an adult. So, and a very well-behaved adult, by the way. So let me open up Messenger. All right. So he was worried that I didn't do anything Saturday on Facebook, and I told him no. I normally don't do anything on Saturday except post. Like I'll post an earlier live stream, one of my backups, and that usually comes on at 7 p.m. Last night it was actually 7:30 p.m. But I said everything was fine. He was worried that we were not doing well or something. So he says, I told him about the funeral, da 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 da. He said, just so you have the inside information, 170 will perform more consistently across various printers, media, especially with challenging papers. So that is good because some of these texture papers that we've been using, I don't know how a tiny little patch that is a little larger than a 60, I think it's like 3/32 of an inch in dimensions. How can that little patch printed on a texture paper, how can it be read correctly or accurately, especially from a sensor that is running across and shining a light? And as it passes, it sort of changes angle a little bit. That light will change slightly as it passes over that bunch of mountains. Okay, microscopically speaking, mountains and valleys. So then he says, this is because I reworked, this is now getting technical, the spectral color math. I reworked the spectral color math, basically rebuilt it so that it can see and predict deeper into the color gamut, makes it more capable of detecting subtle variations. Okay. I'm waiting for Mike to pop in. He said he might, depending how he's feeling. Also, I know your viewers enjoy you having the inside scoop, so the version numbers tell you a lot. With this next one being 170, you automatically know it will produce better profiles. So every time he jumps by 10, he is improving on the output. When I jump to the next 10, it means the profile generation is improved. If it only goes up by one, like 160 to 161, it means that it'll generate the same profiles. In other words, the output algorithm, if you want to call it that, is the same, just features and bug fixes. And that would be like you press on a tab and nothing happens. That would be a bug fix. So with this one going from 161, I didn't even know it was 161, to 170, you automatically know 170 will generate better profiles than 161. And then he just says, just sent you the upgrade email. So I told him I will install it tonight. That was last night. Show it off tomorrow. See you in the chat room tomorrow, I asked. No pressure to show anything just because I release these. That's up to you. Not sure if I'll be in the chat. We'll have to see how I feel. I apparently have shingles. So I tried to get this out before this got too bad. Never had that. And I am sure that's going to be party and a half. Um, and then a smiley face. It's already quite painful. So of course I told him, oh no, I'm sorry. Um, so I told him that I made a couple of charts for some of the papers. I did Strathmore linen, the acrylic linen, and I also did the Canson Aquarella, the Italian paper, watercolor paper. And then I'm gonna print them last night. I'm gonna scan them today, and I'm gonna print that picture that Richard Bender sent me on it and see what we get. And I'm also going to be doing some sublimation, but on polyester material, polyester, not t-shirt material. It's a little bit coarser than a t-shirt material, but it's polyester cloth. He says, sounds good. Have a good one. All right. So then I went ahead and installed it. Okay, let me shut all this down. Went ahead and installed it and gave it a quick run. I didn't create anything. I just wanted to see what it looked like internally. So let me just open it up and show you guys. Have any of you already used it for creating any kind of profile? Before I go ahead and show you, maybe you guys have already gotten a hands-on experience. So like here, I have everything still looks basically the same. So 8550. These are my other available scanners. But, it's right here next to me. So, of course, I'm going to use the 8550. And I put the name down, EcoTank 8550, Canson Aquarella paper, VFA mode. Oh, that's another thing. I printed it using Velvet Fine Art as the paper choice because what I want is for the 8550 to take advantage of the fact that when you choose that particular paper, and only that paper, it will trigger both black inks. And since both of these papers, the Canson and the Strathmore, are not really coded for any kind of inkjet printing, they're for painting. That gives you a better black, a deeper black, more DMAX. So, say for instance, 10, 10, 10 down to 0 would all print at the same dark gray color. Whereas if you introduce the other black, you may be able to detect the difference a little bit more. In other words, you won't be blocking 10, 10, 10 or 15, 15, 15. You know what I'm saying? So you will be able to reach a deeper black, and that just gives you a wider dynamic range. It's visually, easy to see. You can actually see the difference if you print an image using, say, presentation paper mat and a custom profile that you created using that paper mode. It'll use the matte black ink, but it's not going to be as black as it would have been on an inkjet paper. Okay, inkjet papers, yes, they'll look great. Okay, but for these non-inkjet papers that are not coated for printing, they're just for painting. You have to pull a little bit more, and by using both inks with the Velvet Fine Art. And I wish I had some Velvet Fine Art paper. I would love to see what the big difference is between Velvet Fine Art and, say, some other matte paper using the standard modes. Who knows? I would love to see that. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and begin. By the way, this is the canvas. I already cut a piece. It's sitting over here by my heat press. We'll do that a little bit later this afternoon. Let me put this away so I don't get it all dirty. And I'll have to come up with, I know my wife will have many little projects for me to do using sublimation and this material. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get ready. Here I have my Canson Aquarella paper, but I already wrote down, yeah, that's the one that I wrote. So I got to add that that was done on Vivid Fine Art mode. Where's my marker? Right here. So Vivid Fine Art, VFA. VFA mode. And thank God that this software doesn't care that I'm writing on the border here. Let's load this up. I also have the papers that I will need for the subsequent prints right here. You know what? I just realized the across dimensions are a little bit less than 12 inches. So I'm going to trim off a little bit of the white border so that it can sit flat. That's all you have to do. Boom, done. So now all we have to do now, since I already entered the name, I did that last night, is scan and create the profile. And it's going to add it directly to my list of scans already, as well as the profile folder in Windows automatically for you. All right. This is so boring now. I hate to say that, but it really is. So we're just going to kick back and let it do its thing. And again, this is one of those papers that supposedly will be able to take the advantage of this new reprogramming, if you want to call it that, that Mike has incorporated, because it is a rather texture paper. And if the color patches were large, like normal color patches are, I don't think you would have much of an issue. Of course, you're scanning by hand with a spectrophotometer, but all right, it's doing the scanning, the second one. And just so you guys know, in case you're still on the fence about this, you have some built-in options. You can do a single scan. That's what we used to do before. But apparently, multiple scans and then stacked. The results are stacked on top of each other. Imagine. The results are going to be slightly different, but then they are all incorporated. And so all of that information, quintuple information, if you will, if you go to the max five hole scans, that's a lot of data. And that's a lot of accuracy that is added to that final result, if you will. Cool down, 10 seconds is plenty. My scanner needs a little bit of a cool down between scans. And so I figure I was doing 20. I did 30 at one time. It'll do all the way to 60. If that is absolutely necessary, you can choose that. So this section right here, 10, 20, 30, 60. And here are your number of scans. Well, I'm not going to pause it, but you can choose one scan or stack multiple passes. In this case, why not? Let's do 5. If it had 10, I would do 10. And normally what you would be doing is once this is finished, it would load the image that you created via those scans right here. You would have to manually detect the corners and then hope that the selection markers are in the central region of each one of those little squares. And by those, I mean, you've seen this baby right here. All right, there you go. Detecting corners. See, I didn't have to do anything. And there you go. So I'm going to click here. We'll wait for that to finish. It's actually going to immediately start making the profile. There you go. You can quickly just scan through this and notice that all of the little selectors are in the middle. Sometimes you will see one with a little X or a cross like this one. That means nothing. That just means that that surpassed, or it was either too much or under. Right here's the explanation. Um, Patches with high variance, um, and it says in parentheses here, good, which and A patches were with an X are at maximum or minimum brightness. That's it. And then it gives me my paper white. It's doing everything automatically. So I think it's even taking into account if the paper has a base color. Amazing. It's just out of this world. If you had told me a year ago, I would call you nuts. Go see a therapist. If you had told me you were going to create this. But since it was Mike Cheney, I thought, okay, I need to shut my mouth and just wait it out. Oh, Mike is here. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. Just came back from urgent care. Shingles confirmed, but I will lurk here. Yes. So, Mike, I told you last night I was going to do two of those non-coated art papers. And so I'm in the process of doing that right now. We did the watercolor paper from Canson. And Canson also makes inkjet papers, and I'm sure they make a watercolor paper. But for $20, I can buy a tablet of paper from Michaels. So that's why I like using it. And yeah, it's not going to be, as fabulous as real inkjet watercolor paper, but I like the thickness. This 90-pound weight is great. So far, everybody who uses it, including Richard Bender, loves to use that paper as well. I think we're done. I'm going to go ahead and quickly go through these, and then we'll prep for the next scan. Sorry to hear you having shingles. Get better soon. Thanks for Print Prism, QMH Ultimate. Great tools. Yeah, my wife and I got the Shingrich, or whatever it's called, shots. She got real sick from one of them. Her shoulder, they must have hit a nerve or something, and it took her months to recover from that. But I suppose it's worth it. Some people don't want to get it, but I don't know whether you did or did not, Mike. You don't have to tell us that. But since I have Walter Reed just down the street, 3 miles down, I take advantage of it. And I'm a retired vet, so we can do that. That's what we earned. Okay, Mike says, thanks. I feel like I am too ornery for it to get me down. Yeah, don't. They cannot get you. You're the man. Richard Bender says, has anyone profiled glossy or satin papers rated as FBA instead of recommended settings? No, because I did that and I printed them and my shadows were matte. My deepest shadows became matte. So, yeah. Now, whether you can then use that profile and then just print without, matte black ink, just using a glossy setting, I don't know. I did it just for fun. I did it just to prove that, in fact, the matte black ink had been triggered, and you could see that the blacks, the deepest black 000 was matte. Yeah, I could change it. Let's change it to like 30. We'll do the next one. There you go. Remember the problem that I had, Mike? Actually, you got that solved for me by adding that. I know that evening we were going through different beta versions of that, whatever that um, one number was back then. Click on click on any patch and it will spot and read that. Really? Oh my goodness! Then my mouse becomes my spectrophotometer taking readings. Okay, let's take a look at this. Do I have to click on it? Yes, right click. Okay. So let's just pick, I don't know, let's see. Let me go to the reds here. So right. Oh wow. Oh my God. Look at this right here. Patch number so and so. And you get the RG. Is that RGB? Yeah. RGB. I cannot read this. RGB 2202 74 by 82. Oh my God. sRGB. Wow. For the real long hair crazy people, I don't have any hair, so I don't qualify. That is a great option. You can sit there and just, you know, look at all of this. Oh my God. Look at all the different values. So let's see this little purpley looking tint right there. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Mike, you're out of your mind, my friend, but I love you. I tell people you're lucky I love you because otherwise, no, that's fantastic. That's amazing. That only took a little bit of work anyway. I know you can do this in your sleep. I won't get vaccines after COVID. Oh, yes. I sort of agree with that. You know what? I wonder. No, I don't want to get into this. I knew Fauci personally. I'll leave it at that. My boss worked with him. We worked together. We worked back in the days of AIDS. Okay. Yeah. Let's just say, yeah, we got the vaccines because they were available for free. And we happened to be at Walter Reed that particular day. So it was no big issue. So, but we didn't purposely go there to get them or go to the CVS down the street from us. But we never caught COVID ever. And we did everything everyone else did. Never caught COVID. Never even got sick with a mild cold. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Whoops. Just notice that that paper only has 8.6 lab space coverage. That's really narrow color range. Would be interested to see if prints are good on that paper. This is the paper we've been using, Mike, for probably a couple of years now, at least a couple of years. Um, I put it in the back room, but I made a big giant 17 by 24 print of one of my paintings that I digitized, and it came out really nice. By doing the tricks that we've been doing, and then of course using a spray to seal it, and that tends to deepen the shadows a little bit more. So it doesn't affect the mid range or the highlights, just the lower densities on your image as it is printed. And it's like all of a sudden you're expanding that low end beyond what it was visually before spraying. It's a good trick. Um, and again, it's so low cost because you can this is stuff you can buy at the Michaels store. And of course, even Amazon carries it at an even less cost. I get it from Amazon. I don't have to pay tax, and it comes the very next morning. So wow, okay. Right. It's expecting to see that chart. So, all right, let's go ahead and remove this and load the next one. I got to remember to trim off a little bit off of it because this is going to be the Strathmore acrylic. And I'll just add that. Everything's the same, just the name. So Strathmore acrylic, and it's linen, the linen surface. Not line, linen. Type it correctly. VFA mode, and that's it. It's good to go. So I want to do something before we even begin to do this. Let me find a dark. Can I scan the border? Can I right click on the border? I think you can. Maybe. Maybe not. No, I think you have to do it. Yeah, you have to. You cannot scan the border. But I'm going to go ahead and look for one of those black squares here. So even though I am hovering over the selector, it still sees what's behind it. It's amazing. So this is 000, but the RGB is 39, 37, 37. Okay. Let me take a screen grab of that. I want to compare it with the other paper. And this is going to be aqua, Canson. I'll just name it Canson. Canson aqua. That's it. That's all I need. I just want to compare the two. So now that's saved. Let's go ahead and create the profile. Now it's going to take a little longer because I did change it to 30 seconds, but that should not be an issue. I have some Sprite right here, so, and you guys can keep me busy chatting with me. So, no, Mike, I do not have velvet fine art paper. I used that paper choice when I printed the charts on either one of those two uncoated papers. Okay, that's the difference. That's the trick that Keith Cooper discovered and shared with everybody. Yeah. So velvet fine art from Epson is really good. It's a really absolutely wonderful burrito paper. The only negative aspect of it is that it's known to be the surface is relatively delicate, and quite often the barium sulfate coating it starts to like flake off a little bit. So what most professional printers do is they will go ahead and brush off. Back in the days when we were in the darkroom, we used a negative brush to take the dust off of the negative before we put it in the enlarger. So just brush off the surface with a gentle brush and remove any of those little flakes that are loose. Otherwise, you print over those flakes and then they fall off later and you got white spots all over your prints. So you take that off first, There's still enough material underneath in the coating. It's just, yeah, little flakes would come off and give you these little white spots when the printed little flakes fall off the print later on from just gentle, even gentle, handling. So you can, brush that off and then print on it. But yeah, it's fantastic paper, really fantastic paper. I mean, I could visually look at the two different papers and see what their blackest point looks like to my eyes. But this is wonderful. Now I can play around and take spot readings of the same square, which is like this one right here, right there. So that would be right. There's nothing else beyond that. So take a reading of that square. That should be the 000. Yeah, that if you do that, that would be if I got your explanation correctly, Mike, that would make this 171, right? If you just changed something in the UI. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, Richard. Um, old folks like me, we need a little extra help. My wife and I sometimes will be driving and we'll see a estate sale sign, and you have to like, what were you thinking? Why are you using, a slightly darker blue on what's already a blue board? You see, we need contrast, impact. So that would be a good idea. How difficult would that be to change to a bright yellow or something? Make things really pop. All right, we're done. Man, that went fast. Holy mackerel. All righty, here we go. Well, you can see, look at Mike. You can see the texture on the white borders. Oh boy. That's that linen paper. Now over here is getting a little too close to the edges. What do you think? Do you think I should locate the corners manually, Mike? Look at it. It's getting a little bit too close to the edge. I think I have to do this one here. Let me see if I can. You can't do that. Oh, the axe. Oh, it's processing. We'll let it process. Who cares? It's okay. I think it'll be okay. It just looks kind of close to the edge, but that's fine. Let's see. Let me manually move all the way down here. Wow, look at the texture. You can see the texture of the paper. Is that going to work out for us? Yeah, this one's off. So should I just stop the process and readjust that? I can do it again and just overwrite the profile. I'll just let it finish. Yeah, right now it's a little bit off. So this one's a little bit off. And I think it's the texture throwing this process off a little bit. We'll let that finish. At least Mike has left the manual options open. So once that is done, I'll go ahead and click on here and adjust this one. I'll just do all four corners and it'll be perfect. And then we'll rescan it. All right. So I think right about there. See that? Absolutely better. This one's fine. That one needs a little help. So there's this corner here. There you go. Check the one on the left. I think that was okay. Might as well use the automatic eyeball. There you go. That's good enough. All right. So let me go ahead. I want to go ahead quickly and do the right click. I haven't even made the profile yet. So spot read, and I'll do the screen grab. And we'll call this Strathmore. Wait a minute. Wrong button right here, silly. Strathmore. Okay. Let's go ahead and scan this. This is the first time that I've had any kind of issue, and I think it's that paper. It's not the software's fault. It's the paper. All right, we're going to overwrite. See that? It told me I'm going to overwrite it. Oh, that would be, yeah, a little color wheel, like on QImage, adding a stroke, and you get to choose your color. That would be cool. Okay, that's also something I didn't think about. Very good. Yeah, we'll do that. We're going to do that. Right. It does. But we already know that the look, quote unquote, is going to be different. It's going to not match. It's never going to match an inkjet coated paper of a similar texture. It's we're the paper's available super cheap, so we buy it and then we use it because it allows us to print on a fancy surface without having to spend a fortune on real paper. But then afterwards we just spray it, and that will add a little bit extra, and so that's what makes it, and it looks beautiful. Gosh, let me see. This is that linen paper. This is the Strathmore acrylic linen paper. Let me turn on my better light here, and look at that. Yeah, I mean, it'll look a little bit denser in the dark areas if I was to print this on a dedicated proprietary inkjet paper. And you can see there's a little bit of a sheen. I did spray this. You can see the shadows right here, a little bit shiny. Yeah, it absorbed most of the spray, by the way. So, in a way, it's just simply sealing it against possible oxidation from ozone, fading. Again, there's no glass on here. It's just one of those little $5 frames from Michael's or Amazon. But you can see that's one of mine. I did this one, and it came out beautiful. So this is what we're looking for. Actually, this is on matte paper. This is on real matte paper on the 8550. Long before print prism. All right. So yeah, we're just using this paper. It's basically for something it wasn't intended for us to use. But we are experimenters and we're constantly looking for things to print on. And so far is producing you expect a certain look, a certain quality, and then we extract as much possible, dynamic range, depth of the black dmax, if you want to call it that, and that way it just works. It works beautifully. Let's check those again. It's beginning to do its thing, but it's amazing that you can see the texture, and at least this time it's pretty horizontal, vertical. In other words, it's not tilted. That's good. Everything is pretty much where I want it to be. All right, it's done. By the way, I just forgot to flip it over to the other monitor. Yeah, cancel down. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to let it finish. That's fine. And yeah, if you click the scan and create button, it's going to do a new scan and then auto detect corners again. If they are off, just cancel at the bottom, move the corners, and then use the button. Okay, so thank you. Yeah, see that? Did you guys get that? Okay, I was corrected. I know exactly what I did wrong. So he has the option for us to, if something like that happens, go down here to the manual section. Okay, and just continue. Do the creation after you detect the corners again. But this time, when I did it automatically, it seemed to be okay. Um, and then create the profile by clicking manually on the right here on the scan now, and then do the wait a minute. Is there a profile manual workflow? So open file. Yeah, yeah, and then it will do that manually for you. So after we get done with this, let me get a couple of sheets of paper set up here. You guys know what's going to happen. It's going to finish and almost now, and then we can go ahead and close Print Prism. Okay, we're done. So I want to go ahead and take a look at my color folder here. I have a copy of it on a shortcut on my desktop. And we'll open it up. And at the very tippy top, we should be able to see 8550 Strathmore acrylic linen, VFA mode, and 8550 Canson Aquarella VFA mode. And both with the 170 Print Prism. All right. So we'll open up QImage. By the way, I've been using QImage automated schedule on Clock Tool on my pro every 24 hours. I think I did, just because I have detected that over 24 hours it does a cleaning cycle. So I did it right on 24 hours. I was going to do every 23 hours, but that would throw it at a different time every day, an hour earlier the next day, and so forth. And so far, so good. It's done really well. Just print half a sheet. That's all I needed. And it's been working extremely well. And hopefully will prevent these weird events from happening where we'll do a cleaning cycle for 20 minutes and then throw an error at you, which scares the living daylights out of you. It really does. So while that is loading, actually it is done. Let me go ahead and I'm going to locate Richard's newest images. And in here, I should have that new one that he sent me. Did we do this one? I don't know if we did that one. I know we have this new one here. That's a beautiful one. But let me go ahead and change this to what it should be, the 8550. And then I have the 9x12 Velvet Fine Art mode. And in this case, because I'm probably going to end up framing this, I'm just going to add a border my own way using the specified border dimension here. I prefer this way, Mike. It's so easy. And I'm going to, of course, I want a score around it. Now, this may or may not be the right dimensions to fit there. Let me do it with auto cropping on, and then I will take it off and see what happens. Yeah, it is. It's a little bit more rectangular, if you will. So we'll leave it at that. And this is going to be the aquarella first. We'll do one aquarella and then one on the Canson. Um, no, Canson aquarella first, and then Strathmore linen. But let me go ahead and check it. Looks good to me. I'm not going to do anything extra. I think here we're going to have a little bit of sharpening. Yeah, 5 default. I can add maybe 10 just to make sure those brush strokes come out sharp. And let's load that paper. Oh, big mistake. Look what I almost did. Yeah. So I'm just gonna browse and just click the date. Like so. And it should be at the very bottom here. So we'll do Canson first. That one needs a little bit of help from me. Sometimes it messes up. And this is what we're talking about. And you could buy this at Staples. You can get it on Amazon. I actually have this particular media on my list of recommended uh, products. If you look at the application that um, Mike Cheney made for me, gives you the link to Amazon. It'll automatically put you with the affiliate link. You just basically look at what I have to offer, and also if you want something else, you can click on search and purchase it. You're supporting the channel automatically doing that, and everybody shops from Amazon. So there's no reason for you to not do it this way. It requires a minimum amount of effort. Just use the link that is provided in that app, and there's many others as well. You've seen that before. So we'll let this baby load. Put it in the right way. So that is the Canson. Here it is right here. We're going to choose that. Relative, black point comp, and OK. And print. So I have to make sure that I catch it as it is beginning to print so that I feed it. Sometimes it grabs it, sometimes it doesn't. It's very thick and very stiff. That's the only problem with that paper. Yeah, the texture is incredible. I never realized how well it actually. You know what happened? I bet you I didn't turn off sharpening when I printed it. Maybe. Maybe. I know I did it for the Strathmore. Folks, when you print a chart, you have to turn off sharpening in Q image, okay? Pick the paper choice, turn the color management to off, and make sure that sharpening is set to 0. I think maybe that's what happened because it has this cloth texture. That's unusual. That usually never happens. Yeah, I think that's what happened. What do you think, Mike? The texture was beautifully captured by the scanner. And the other paper has a texture as well, but it's random. It's just totally random. This was linear lines this way and this way. Yeah, that I was able to see. Yeah, I think that's what did it. That's what I would call them too, challenging papers. Okay. All right. So it's not really affecting the visual texture. That's weird. Okay. How does it know that? Hmm. So we'll print this one. I'm going to label it in the back, and we'll print the next one. It'll be on this other paper, the linen paper, the one with the cloth texture, the one that I used on that framed picture I just showed you. And I just realized I'm getting low on this. I got to give somebody a gift at the end of this month, and I wanted to print it on this linen paper, but 12 by 18, and make her a beautiful, um, maybe a panoramic shot of she's from Nicaragua, Central America. So maybe I can come up with some sort of beautiful jungle landscape. And she's not going back to her country. She's going to North Carolina. But that would be a good thing. And then I can maybe make her a smaller photo. Now, VFA mode will automatically cause the 8550 to print at 2880 dpi, dots per inch, not pixels per inch, dots per inch. So it's going to take forever. It takes forever to print, as you see. It's just advancing like maybe at 30 seconds of an inch every pass, and lots of overlapping. And again, the overall per square inch resolution is at 2880 by whatever. So I'm looking at that. The colors are exquisite. We'll do the next one. I'm not going to show you this yet. I'll do the next one. We'll compare it to see. I want to reach a color match. That's what I want. I don't want to have one be warm and one to be cool. That means my profile sucks. Okay. So I want it to match color wise. And if there's any difference in contrast or brightness, well, that may have something to do with the actual paper type. Um, but I want a color match for the two. You can see those rich, beautiful blue colors there of that painted sky. And over here I have a ton of you said the output has improved, so I got to redo all of these, man. But don't worry, I haven't done anything this week. It's been so busy. So I'm going to put the ones that I did back over here, and we'll do them all again. So and here is one that yeah, this is the one I just did. I don't need to do that one. I can remove this. Those are done until you come up with 180. Okay, we'll put this over here. And we'll go ahead and pick the next profile. Oh, I'm sorry. You did not see me do that. Okay, so the next one is the acrylic linen. And okay. And print. There it is right there. And print. Velvet Fine Art. I have to always go back and check because I'm known to, like I said, I always mess up and I forget to do the 1, 2, 3. Printer, paper type, size. That's how you do it. And then we're going to print on that piece of canvas cloth. When Joanne store, the material cloth store was open, they had multiple types of polyester canvas. Some of them had like a yellowish type coloration on it, on the base paper, not paper, the cloth itself. It was awesome. It was awesome. It actually made canvas that you can stretch on a stretcher, but they are sadly out of business. So what I found on Amazon is doesn't really match what I expected to get, but I'll just give you a quick look. Right here. And it's got all these little loose edges here, which I'm going to then trim. I'm going to apply a little bit of glue on the edges when I make this little carpet. And the carpet is a copy, a scan of the original carpet that was in the house, but it was a paper carpet. So here it is right here. So we're going to be sandwiching this. I'll do that while this is printing. This is going to remind me of printing on a t-shirt, which I used to do when I made those eat, sleep, breathe, eat, or no, eat, breathe, sleep, and print. And then repeat. And also did the happy printing, everyone, as well. The only thing with this tape is it is so staticky. Incredible staticky. Incredibly. Okay, so here's the sandwich. I'm going to go ahead and lay it down here. And I had to make sure that I had a brand new sheet of paper because remember the ones that I've been using in the past had all that bleed on it. And we don't want bleed. Now, I have no idea what the actual time should be for this. So we're going to stick with the current protocol of like 85 seconds at 350 degrees. I think that should be okay. I'll leave that there. We'll look at that in a little bit. Just wanted to get it set up. All right, you can see that coming out. So again, for you guys who may want to experiment, this is what this media looks like. It has to say linen. Where does it say that? Linen finish. Okay. Acrylic from Strathmore. And Strathmore has different types of painting media and drawing media as well. And this is Canson XL watercolor. Okay. Or aquarella. Aquarella is the Italian word. In Spanish, aquarella. In Italian, aquarelle. So that's only like 3/4 of the way done yet. So my wife called our son, and they are going to go hiking. So hopefully they already left, and we'll have to go over there later on as soon as I hear a word from my nephew. They're coming from Baltimore. They are at what's called a wool festival. And if you're a knitter, a crocheter, you're into crafts that require wool, you go there. I had to wet that because it was so sticky to my fingers. Really, really staticky material. So, yeah, they're coming from there, and this should take them about 25 minutes, half an hour to get to the house in Olney. So, I just want to make sure that I get done here in time in case they call at any one specific time. All right, let me make sure that I got this correct. So this is the linen by Strathmore, 8550. Strathmore linen, BFA, and then PP 170. And then this one, 8550. Canson Aquarelle, VFA mode, PP 170. Okay. Now we can do the comparison. The top one is the Strathmore linen. The bottom one is the watercolor paper, the Aquarella from Canson. Canson, Strathmore. So I'm getting a very good match in color. I see slight differences. I think the Canson Aquarella possibly was able to absorb, or maybe the settings are using a slightly higher ink density. So this is Aquarella on the right now, and the Strathmore linen on my left, your right. And again, I'm just switching it around so that any differences in the lighting will be taken care of here, angle and so forth. Which one do I like more? Without looking at the surface, of course, I prefer the linen. Um, I'm seeing a bit more of a difference, a little bit more separation of the tonalities in this region here than this one here. This is the linen, this is the aquarella paper. Although, yeah, there's more shadow detail here on the Canson paper, more separation of the deeper tones than here. But it's so slight. Where you're able, how would I do that? I would have to rescan those and then look at the patches and see, say, within instead of the last 10 little dark squares that should have been, black with no color, just grays. Um, and see, it's very minute. I mean, visually, it's almost imperceptible. If I show you both separately, they would both look the same or both look good. So again, this has to dry. I will go over them with a spray coat. And again, they're beautiful. Good job, my friend. Richard, that is. And he hasn't told me the secret how he creates these. And I don't expect him to. That is, his own. Yeah. Gosh, let me. Yeah, the linen texture is a little bit overwhelming because it tends to create little highlights where there is no such thing here. This is the texture here is smooth enough, but still, looks like watercolor texture paper, but it's not. I mean, I see a grid here, literally, depending how I angle the paper to my lights here. But again, it's just that look. So if you want the cloth canvas look, get the linen. If you just want watercolor look, and if you're good and you create watercolors, digital watercolors, print them on the Canson paper. And then all you have to do is spray them. And yeah, you could get expensive and buy some like Moab Desert Varnish or Hannah Mule Protectant spray. Um, they do the job and they don't affect the surface at all. Um, you can get real cheap and get some paper, spray from the local hardware store. They have some protectant spray at the art stores, like Michael's craft stores, that is, that are not $27 for a can. Um, you can spray them with that. That's what I used on that previous one that I showed you. But yeah, this looks really great. So there you go, Mike. And let me load. Let me see if I can load both of these at the same time. I don't know if you can. There you go. That's a little bit more cyan-ish, a little bit cooler than this. But the fact that these match tells me that it's just because keep point. Actually, it's on this side, but it looks on this side on your as you're viewing this. That is not calibrated at all. Okay. So what I'm going to do is you can't see this, but I'm going to purposely do this. I'm going to move it over to my monitor. Yeah, it matches. Isn't that amazing? I wish I could show you that. but it matches. On my calibrator monitor, I'm looking at it right now. You cannot see this, but it matches. The result has a little bit more pop over here. This is dull as hell paper. Okay. Uh, don't even dream that this is going to come out like a proper inkjet coated paper. But the colors match. It's just duller. So we have to boost it by spraying it. So once this is dry tomorrow, I'll spray it. I will choose the one I like the best, frame it. And Richard, let me think. Gosh, it's so busy this month. We got to get together. Um, I'll have to discuss with the boss and look at her calendar, which has all the events that we have to be part of, and we'll figure out a day when we can get together, and you will get that from me. Okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and do my little carpet. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. I am not going to close Q image because I have that schedule set up for my Pro 1000 and the Pro 1. I want those printers to remain healthy. I don't know what you mean by that, Mike. What image? No, your image doesn't have texture. Of course not. Right. So you say that you want us to print the chart without any sharpening, which the default is 5 in Q image. And I just want to make sure that I stick by that. So I either have to make a setting that will set Q image at the correct proper settings as far as sharpening down to none when I print those charts, and of course off. Um, but yeah, that so now I know if I want to keep Jose busy and out of mischief, just increment. Don't. Yeah, you can. Of course you can. Of course you can. Yeah, did I put the actually it was pretty clean. It actually came off really clean. There's nothing on the edges. Both of them. Yeah, so that worked out. Actually, you saw that nothing happened. There was no jamming or anything like that. So okay, the scan I already did. So okay, and then so it's the processing of the scan that is going to create the improvement, right? I don't have to rescan. Okay. So yeah, I have all those scans already saved. I would like to change them to say the titles of the the profile title to say 170 though. So can I do that manually to the saved ones? I wanted to say that is from the newest, language lessons as well. No, English is not my primary language. How could I? Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's do this real quick here. So I have it all sitting down waiting, and let's hope for the best. So 352 is the temperature right now. 77 seconds now. It was actually 80 seconds. We'll see what we get. I hope it works because this is going to be really good for our little. We're setting up a little room, and it was like a banquet. And Marge, our friend who is in the home, the house is now empty, and I think they're painting and doing some little fixes here and there, and it'll go on the market. I guess she's not coming back. So we'll see how that works out. I was telling someone the other day, we were talking about my crazy DNA workup that I did with that company online. Um, that they added some more regions, and now I have 26 different regions and small percentages of this and that and whatever. And then I thought that I had heard that if you speak, I think it was Spanish, English, of course, and French, that you could communicate with like almost 90% of the world's population. Now, I don't know how to speak French, but I know how to do Spanish and English. So if with just those two, it's like 83% of the world's population. That's really the reason is many people in Europe and Asia can speak English. So all right, let's see what we got. I hope this works. I'm gonna take a quick sneak peek here. All right. It's a little hot right now, but so you can see this is the cloth with the transfer sheet on top. We'll let this cool off. I always wondered if I move it around, am I going to get a ghost image? When I have a press that can do mugs, like coffee mugs, and those are for specially coated, ceramic mugs. And it has a pneumatic press on it. And when those mugs come out of there, they are at 375 degrees. It's a little hotter than this. And you could, if you are not careful and you did not tape down the transfer securely, it could shift and it's still hot enough to cause some extra sublimation, possibly, assuming that they didn't all, the maximum amount transferred. Oh, no, that's terrible. Very dark. So I need to reprint this and then make it much lighter, more contrast. So obviously that did not work. Although now I'm wondering. Well, no. Yeah, this is no good. So definitely too dark. It's not like printing on aluminum. And of course, I just now realized that I printed it using my aluminum profile. So I'm just going to go ahead and reprint it. I'm going to redo this, edit it a little bit. I happen to have another sheet already pre-cut. It's almost 2 o'clock anyway, so I got to get a hold of my nephew and see what his plans are as far as the traveling over here from Baltimore, which is nothing. All right, so 8.5 by 13. Presentation paper matte. Yeah, sublimation. I use it automatically loaded it. That's what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just let the driver control color. It'll use the presentation paper matte profile, which is what most people will do. Most people will simply do that. So I'm just going to let it printer manage color. Sorry, I didn't show you that. Here we go. So I just clicked on here. I had the I had this profile loaded, so I'm just letting the printer manage color. It'll just use presentation paper matte. Okay, so let me go ahead and load that image again. And we should get something that looks more like that. Let me go ahead and check the sharpness. I usually just use the editor here. I'm going to just increase saturation a little bit and brightness, contrast, and okay, that looks good. We should be able to get something similar to that. I hope. The idea is to be able to do this on actual cloth and not just print I had it here. I wanted to match that. See that? That's still, it's dark, but it's not as dark as it was before. So I'm going to adjust that again, make it a little bit brighter. You're not watching this, I'm sorry, but that's okay. It's on my screen here. Let that load. I'm going to increase it. Brightness a little bit more. I just want it not to get too dark. That's good. Let that finish processing. There you go. And while that is printing, I'm going to go ahead and cut myself another sheet, a piece of that paper, that fabric. Okay. So let's go ahead and print this. Let me double check everything is correct. Let the driver control color. Presentation paper matte. That's what we normally use for printing sublimation. I would have had to create a profile literally on that material by printing a chart. That would be a little bit impossible. Maybe not, but it would be a little hard to do, I would think. And let's do this. And then while that is printing, I thought I would be done with this. Like one try would have been enough, but no. We're back to that experimental condition. Remember the days when I was doing aluminum and getting failure after failure, and then finally we nailed it. It took a little bit of time. A wee bit. Okay. Where did I put my scissors at? Everything is so closely packed here that I lose my scissors. I get another pair here. Oh, here's my big pair. There you go. That'll work. This will be a lot better than these little teeny ones. That just began to print now, so we have a little bit of time. My mother used to be a seamstress extraordinaire in Puerto Rico. She had her own shop for original designs. She was selling, making outfits for all sorts of entertainers, mostly for the entertainment industry. Um, you could imagine all of our resorts in the San Juan area and all the people that would come over from Spain and all over South America, Central America to perform, and they needed costumes. So it was called Eva's Originals, and she was very proud of that. And she was amazing. She could take your measurements, and then just cut the cloth. Boom, 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 boom. Put it together, and you put it on, and it fits. No pattern. You can change the names of the scans, but if you do that, Pinperson won't find the safe settings. Yeah. So we'll just leave that. Yeah, we'll leave them the same. Um, some of them have I started putting the actual number of the version. And so that's the only difference that I would need to change. But I just won't. I'll leave it alone. I hope I cut this large enough. Yeah, I think I did. See, I don't want this fake fringe right here. I'm going to take that off. So let me take the bit of wrinkling away from that a little bit. I'll press it real quick here. Just a few seconds. That's all it needs. It would be like ironing. And I think this time I don't even need to tape it on. I'm just going to lay it on. It's nice and flat. Hopefully I'll be able to quick dry this. This is done. So I have my previews right here. The unclogged scheduling is off. So, yeah, I mean, it's not off. I can turn it off. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to minimize and let it do its magic. And that way I don't have to worry about, getting these humongous cleaning cycles through lack of use. It's really my fault. Okay. It's no one's fault but me. Boy, it's printing really slow. Like the data transfer has somehow slowed down to a crawl. So you guys recall that I show you this image here. And if you guys are interested, I can put this on my Facebook group. You could do your own testing. Um, what kind of misfeeding? What are you experiencing? I've tried turning it upside down and shaking it, but nothing. Oh, you were able to shake a Pro 10? I don't want to get into a fight with you then, because that's very heavy. So, is it refusing to feed certain times, certain conditions? What? It misfeeds in the same place. What do you mean by the same place? See that you say I haven't been able to fix. It's driving me crazy and holding up my work. It misfeeds in the same place. The same place where the printer's located, the same place where the paper, the same position. I need more info. Um, I've tried turning it upside down, shaking it. Nothing is falling. I've done the bottom roller feeding. That's only for if you get smudges, not feeding. Oh boy, I don't know. I really don't know. You can send it to me. I'll give you my email. Just go ahead and hand copy that. You cannot scan it, so or copy and paste. You have to do it by hand. This is taking forever. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, while you do that, let me show you guys what I mean. So if you want to do a proper type of fade test, you're going to need this. Okay. What you do is you print it, use color management if you want to or not. You can print it raw, it doesn't matter. You just want to have a set of colors that you can then compare with each other. So you're going to print this, then trim it, trim each piece. The first one will be retired to dark storage after, and this is what the guy uses in his lab. You don't have to do this. You can then put all how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these different places in your house, and then just mark it. Mark it with a pen. Front window facing north, whatever, and then after, say for instance, let's just say these are megalux of light, so you're not going to be using that terminology. Let's just say 20 days, 50 days, 100 days, 200 days. It'll take you a year to do this. And then each one gets put in dark storage. Just use a paper box and put it in dark storage. After 20 hours or 20 days, 20 hours is not enough. 20 days, 50 days, 100 days, 200 days. And then this one is a control. This one goes into dark storage immediately. And then at the end of that 200 days, see if they were using arc lights, which is what they're normally using, 200 megalux would not take 200 days. Be a matter of a day, days or weeks or whatever, a lot quicker. But then you compare them, and then you can use it. If you have a spectrophotometer, you can take readings of each corresponding patch. For example, how much did this change? This one, this one, this one. This was minimum time, double that time, 3 times that time, quadruple that time, and this is in dark storage during that time. And that will give you the actual results. You can actually look at that in an intelligent way and see what they're talking about. See what's happening in your home. For instance, if your south-facing window is the one with the brightest amount of light, and you want to do something ridiculous, tape it facing the outside. Yeah, tape it so that it's looking through your window to the south. And then after the 20th day, take this off. After the 50th day, take this one off. After the 100th day, take this one off. After the 200th day, take this one off and store them. This one you store immediately. Okay. And then you make a visual comparison. If you want to get technical, you can do a spectra and take readings like Mike does. What you're looking for is change in density only and not color balance. If you get a change in color balance, that means one of your inks is crappy. One of your particular colors is crappy. If everything turns cyanish, bluish, magenta-ish, your yellow sucks. The same thing goes if everything starts turning reddish, your cyan sucks. Okay, and vice versa. So, okay, this is not working. I don't know why it's not working. I'm gonna let that print. It's gonna take like another hour to finish. I don't know why it's taking so long, but I will leave you guys with this. I hope you guys were able to at least enjoy seeing the new print prism working. And again, if you are a customer, make sure you already have downloaded it and installed it and have fun with it. Begin to use it, begin to enjoy it, begin to create wonderful profiles. Yeah. All right. You didn't send me the video yet, or are you just now creating it? You can send that to me, and then, of course, provide me with your email, obviously, and then I will get back to you. Because right now I got to get ready to start uh, planning our evening. So let me go ahead and load my see you guys later graphic. If you have any questions, please ask them now. Um, if that begins to print a little bit faster, maybe we'll get this done before we get off here, but it's not looking like it's going to. I don't know what's going on. It's just acting weird. It's just advancing and then nothing. It's like data transfer has slowed down to nothing. And yet I'm not freezing or anything like that. So don't know. Just don't know. Okay, so let me remove this old slideshow. We'll get the new one. I'm going to set it up, get it ready. I'll give you a few more minutes for you guys to be a wet transfer. That must be some sort of other mode. Let me see. Nope, I don't have it. All I have is the print prism. This is my see that that's the newest one right there. If it comes in later, then I'll get back to you. I can hear it working. It's like it got sent. I removed it. I minimized Q image because I want to continue with the stuff from my Pro 1000 and the Pro 1 so that it doesn't get gnarly on me. Okay. Yeah, once the stream goes live, not live, but on video, you can then, if you want to give it a thumbs up, that really helps. You don't have to watch it; just load it and apply the thumbs up. Um, right now, I have monetization turned off. As soon as I get off, I will download it. I'm allowed to do that. I'm given 24 hours from StreamYard to download. So now I'm saving all my original, my new streams at full resolution, by the way, which is good. Um, just in case something happens in the future again, you cannot take a chance any longer. All right. Anything else? Catch me now. Catch me now. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look again at anything we were going to be discussing. So we did the the Print Prism 170. I was going to cover possibilities for obtaining OEM inks for printers like a Pro 1000, Pro 1100. Um, um, of course, the larger ones. You simply go to eBay and you look up the corresponding matching ink sets that you can use on the Pro 1000. That would be the 2100. So you're looking for 700 ml cartridges like these. And usually you would have to pay like $300 for these, maybe less, but that's the retail price, to $299. And then you proceed to drill right here. I call this like 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 5/32 of an inch. Clean that hole, and then with a funnel on a bottle such as this is 700 ml, 750. I'm sorry. Pour out that ink onto a bottle such as this. This has a spigot all the way down. You apply a needle to that, and you can fill your modified cartridges directly. Weigh them, add a little bit more ink, weigh them again. When they reach 112, this is for the Pro 1000 and the Pro 1100. That's full, and you're done. And then the empty cartridge, which has never been used, has a fully working chip. Okay. And that allows you to sell these to people who may want to then refill their larger Canon printers. And that chip is still good. For example, if it was an 1100, 700 ml cartridge and you found it for $200 instead of $300, you're using OEM ink. You get you're going to top off anytime you're down to like 20 ml of ink left. So empty is 32 grams. So 20 ml would put you at 52. You top it off with 60, divide 60 into 700. That gives you the number of refills that you can get for less money because you're buying these at a much lower cost from eBay. Even if they are slightly or nearing, expiration, don't worry about that. I've never worried about it, and I've never had an issue. So, I just bought in fact, it's right here. Chrome Optimizer, brand new, right here, $99. You see what I mean? So, Precision Colors right now, he inherited this McNamara inherited a ton of these empties that are ready to be refilled. The chip is still brand new, has never been used. So you take that cartridge, you fill it up with 700 ml of ink, of whatever ink you want to use. If you want to go third party, there's some good brands out there that actually work pretty well. And just load that, keep topping off, and eventually you do the chip disabling. Hey, you have a large Canon printer now that you can then refill with the best cartridges ever created, OEM. Okay. And that way, if you're not, if you have a printer of that magnitude, um, you can then start creating output at a much lower cost. You tell your customers you're using third party ink, but this is pigment ink. It will last a long time. Pigment ink, even third party, is good, especially if you get it from known providers. Their inks are being made here in the USA. So you don't have to worry about, cheap stuff from where. So those inks are good. They have good output quality with a good profile. That's all you need. And then you're printing, say Pro 1000, Pro 1100, super cheap. Okay, that's what I've been doing. Okay, that way my output is almost 100% OEM and top quality. Can't get better than that. Hold on. This is interesting. Is there a printer potty for the Canon Pro 100? No, there is not. You just can't. It's only for Epson printers that allow you to bypass the internal delivery of waste ink to the internal passage. Only Epson printers, and you then rely on a resetter software like a chipless solution or inkchip.net. You get a software that you can then use. It's called the WIC uh, software WIC tool. And with WIC, you locate the printer, you read how much saturated their pads are at that point. It'll give you a percentage. You buy a reset key for almost $10, 9.99, and then you enter that key and it will reset your counter back to zero, and you can start all over again, but you have to divert that ink outside. So only Epson printers allow you to do that. There is no such thing for Canon printers. There is no such reset key you can buy or software you can use for Canon. So sorry about that. But the Pro 100, the one that I just got rid of, it was 13 and a half years old. And I never got to the point where I needed to do some kind of hack to reset my internal ink pads. No. So unfortunately, that's the case with Canon printers. No can do. Emmanuel, you just got here. Normandy, France. EcoTank 8550, QMH1. Wait for Mac Print Prism. I don't know whether he is still here or not, but he did tell me. He hinted to me that there will be, or it's being worked on right now, a Mac version for Print Prism. So yes, I certainly will do that. I certainly will do that. I can barely do anything with these at this point. Busy, busy, busy. But I will do that. In fact, I have made profiles for various papers already for the Pro 200, and I'm making comparisons with the Pro 100 with OEM and the Pro 200 with PC inks. That will be next. I will be doing some metallic paper tests on the Pro 200, and then finally, I'm going to install the ones that you gave me, the cartridges that are at different levels, chip recognition levels. Don't worry, I will be doing that. Yes, and that I've been printing on it regularly, so nothing bad's going to happen to it. I did not get anything from wet transfer. You did send it to this. You have to make sure you get it correctly. Okay. Machi stands for male. You in Spanish culture, you call your little tiny newborn boy Machito. Cheo is my nickname for Jose. And then 1949 is my birth year. Gmail.com. I'll check to see if it went to the spam folder, just in case. All right. That's going to be it then. Hope everybody has a wonderful week. We'll be back for those of you who just came in a little later next Saturday at noon. Sunday is Mother's Day. No way I can do this on Mother's Day. I have too many things to do that day, and we're getting together with family and such. So Saturday at noon Eastern time. All right. Okie dokie. That's going to be it for now. We thank you so much for hanging again with me. I don't even hear my 4200 printing anymore. I don't know what's up with that. Once I get off here, I'll restart everything and get that thing printed and give it to my wife because we're working on that little room and I'm making that little carpet for her. It's got to get done today. All right. Thank you so much. Bye bye, everybody.